Ever been stuck staring into the pantry, completely stumped by the sheer volume of options, and wondered if the difficulty in picking the right snack mirrors the bigger choices we face in life? What makes a simple selection feel so weighty? This very sentiment, this paralysis sparked by choice, forms the crux of an existential problem explored by Jean-Paul Sartre, a concept that reverberates profoundly in our contemporary, intricately connected world. We exist in a time where individual liberty is celebrated, where opportunities appear limitless. However, this excess often births a specific type of worry. The liberty to embody anything, to accomplish everything, can be debilitating. What if the avenue we select results in sorrow? What if we waste our abilities on an unfruitful project? The persistent demand to enhance our lives, to arrive at the optimal decision consistently, can leave us feeling perpetually unsatisfied and uncertain of our selections. Let's journey into the nucleus of Sartre's philosophy of existentialism and reveal why we are, in his view, destined for freedom. We will scrutinize how this weight of choice has molded past figures, dissect the psychological foundations of anxiety linked to decision-making, and uncover how these philosophical notions hold deep relevance for modern-day obstacles. From maneuvering the pressures of social media to making career-altering decisions, consider figures like Socrates, who chose philosophical integrity over life, or Kierkegaard, who wrestled with faith against societal norms. Their narratives illustrate the high stakes of choosing authentically. This existential burden isn't new. Why does choice evoke such unease? Psychological research points to several factors: the anticipation of regret, the cognitive overload of evaluating endless possibilities, and the fear of making the wrong decision. This fear can lead to analysis paralysis, where we become so fixated on making the perfect choice that we make no choice at all. Think about this. Do you often find yourself caught in a loop of overthinking, unable to commit to a decision? Sartre's existentialism provides a lens through which to view this dilemma. His core concept, existence precedes essence, suggests that we are born into the world without a predetermined purpose. We define ourselves through our choices and actions. There is no inherent meaning, no divine blueprint to follow. We are entirely responsible for creating our own values and determining our own path. Freedom in this context isn't a gift, it's a responsibility. Show a visual representation of a person standing at a crossroads, symbolizing the weight of decision-making. Now, let's connect these abstract ideas to the tangible realities of today's world. How does Sartre's curse manifest in the 21st century? One prominent example is the pressure cooker of social media. We are bombarded with curated portrayals of ideal lives, creating a constant need to compare and optimize our own choices. Should I pursue this career or that one? Should I travel here or there? Should I present myself in this way or that way? These seemingly endless choices can be overwhelming, leading to feelings of inadequacy and anxiety. Career choices present another fertile ground for existential angst. The modern job market offers a dizzying array of possibilities, each with its own set of potential rewards and pitfalls. The pressure to find a fulfilling and meaningful career can be intense, particularly when coupled with financial considerations and societal expectations. Why does the pursuit of passion often feel like a high-stakes gamble? What decisions genuinely define you? Are they choices that you consciously made, or ones that were imposed upon you by circumstance or expectation? Take a moment to consider the pivotal moments in your life, the turning points that have shaped who you are today. What drove those decisions? What fears or aspirations were you grappling with? However, this exploration aims to offer a framework for understanding and embracing choice. Instead of viewing freedom as a burden, we can learn to see it as an opportunity for self-creation. It involves accepting anxiety as an inherent aspect of authentic existence and finding personal meaning despite the absence of universal significance. Instead of striving for the perfect choice, we can focus on making choices that align with our values and create a life that is authentically our own. Show a visual representation of someone confidently striding down a path, embodying the act of making authentic choices. Accept the tension, embrace the unknown, and cultivate a mindset of continuous self-discovery. By acknowledging the weight of choice, we can begin to approach it with greater awareness, intention, and ultimately with a sense of empowerment. In conclusion, the paradox of Sartre's predicament is this: we are condemned to be free, yet this freedom is the very source of our potential. The anxiety of choice is a given, but it is also a call to action. So, what will you choose next? Embrace the complexity, accept the anxiety, and dare to forge your own path. What will you create? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more philosophical explorations. The intricacies of contemporary living often leave us feeling adrift, but understanding existentialist philosophy, particularly through the lens of Jean-Paul Sartre, can equip you with the insight needed to make decisions with increased clarity and assurance. The 20th century saw a profound transformation in philosophical thought, largely shaped by the devastating consequences of two global conflicts and a growing skepticism toward established systems of belief. This period marked the rise of existentialism, a school of thought that prioritizes individual existence, liberty, and the power of choice. Jean-Paul Sartre emerged as a dominant figure in this movement, and his influential ideas continue to challenge conventional thinking. Sartre's existentialism directly grapples with the fundamental aspects of human existence. He refutes the idea of a predefined human nature or a fixed essence that dictates our behavior. Instead, he puts forward the notion that existence precedes essence. We are thrust into the world without any innate reason or meaning. It is through our deliberate selections and purposeful actions that we shape our identities, crafting our unique essence as we progress through life. This radical perspective on freedom, however, carries a substantial burden of responsibility. Sartre asserted that we are completely answerable for our selections and their resultant effects. There is no way to evade this accountability, no possibility of attributing blame to fate or external influences. This unrestricted liberty, paired with the gravity of responsibility, gives rise to what Sartre termed anguish. Anguish is the unsettling sensation stemming from the recognition of our freedom's vastness and the absence of external justification for our choices. The challenge, therefore, becomes: how do we navigate this realm of boundless possibilities without being overwhelmed by the weight of our decisions? How do we generate meaning in a world devoid of intrinsic purpose? These are the core questions within Sartre's philosophy, and they are the same questions that we will investigate to give you the resources to live more genuinely and purposefully, bravely confronting the anxieties that freedom inevitably brings. By comprehending the essential principles of existentialism, we can begin to address the widespread feelings of being overwhelmed and indecisive that are prevalent in modern society. Are you prepared to confront Sartre's curse? Your expedition toward authentic decision-making starts now. Share your freedom-related anxieties or significant breakthroughs in the comments section. Your individual experiences contribute to our expanding community. Subscribe to gain access to more philosophical instruments that will assist you in shaping your authentic self. Actively engage in future discussions. We greatly value your unique viewpoints and insights. To genuinely comprehend Sartre's concept of being condemned to be free, it is crucial to first thoroughly analyze the central principles of his existentialist philosophy. The initial step entails acknowledging that our lives lack inherent meaning or a pre-established objective. While this realization might be unsettling, it can also be incredibly empowering. It signifies that we are not constrained by any external powers or limitations. We are liberated to define ourselves on our own terms. Subsequently, it's important to fully grasp the weight of responsibility. Every choice we make, regardless of its perceived significance, contributes to the creation of our individual essence. This is not about pursuing an unattainable ideal of perfection, but rather about taking ownership of our choices and acknowledging their consequential influence. Consider this: opting to patronize local businesses rather than large corporations, for instance, reflects a value system that emphasizes community and sustainability. This seemingly minor decision contributes directly to your self-definition and character. To navigate this freedom effectively, we can adopt practical and readily applicable strategies. Begin by pinpointing your fundamental values. Which principles hold the greatest importance for you? These values can function as a compass, guiding your decisions and instilling a sense of direction and intent in your life. Another valuable approach is to cultivate the practice of mindful decision-making. Before committing to a choice, take a moment to pause and carefully contemplate your underlying motivations. Are you acting from a place of fear, a sense of obligation, or a genuine sense of desire? Ultimately, embracing Sartre's notion of freedom necessitates accepting the inherent ambiguity of life. There will inevitably be instances when you make mistakes and experience setbacks. Life presents a labyrinth of pathways, and occasionally we find ourselves on routes that diverge from our intended course. These detours, although seemingly missteps, present invaluable chances for personal development and self-discovery. The crux lies in extracting wisdom from our errors, adapting our trajectory, and steadfastly pursuing a more genuine and purposeful existence. The voyage of self-creation is a perpetual endeavor, not a fixed destination. We are inhabitants of an epoch marked by unprecedented technological progress and societal transformation. Artificial intelligence is swiftly reshaping industries, automation poses a challenge to traditional employment, and social media algorithms mold our perceptions of reality. These forces, while heralding advancement, also intensify the sensation of being inundated by choices. The core dilemma resides in the constant barrage of options, often devoid of a robust framework for informed and meaningful decision-making. The challenge emerges from the paradox of liberty. While we celebrate the capacity to chart our own paths, the sheer magnitude of options coupled with external pressures gives rise to unease and inertia. It is within this context that Sartre's existentialism gains profound relevance. His philosophical perspective offers a compass for navigating this intricate terrain, empowering us to assume ownership of our choices and construct our own sense of meaning. A deficiency in comprehension stems from the absence of a philosophical structure to grapple with the anxieties inherent in freedom within the digital sphere. Frequently, we lean on external endorsement or societal norms to steer our decisions instead of introspecting and aligning our choices with our fundamental values. This approach can result in a feeling of disconnect and the sense of being ensnared by our own liberty. Comprehending Sartre's insights transcends mere academic pursuit. It becomes an indispensable skill for navigating the complexities of contemporary existence. By embracing the accountability of choice and forging our individual significance, we can transition from a state of being overwhelmed to a state of empowerment, molding our lives with intent and direction. Now, more critically than ever before, we require a philosophical orientation to guide us through the sea of options and facilitate an authentic way of life. To deconstruct Sartre's philosophy and comprehend the anxiety associated with freedom, it is essential to dissect some fundamental concepts. Initially, existence precedes essence. Envision an artist with a mass of clay. The clay existence exists first, subsequently, through the artist's endeavors, it transforms into a sculpture essence. Correspondingly, we are born without a predetermined nature. We define ourselves through our choices and actions. Secondly, anguish. This extends beyond ordinary unease. It embodies the feeling of dread that emanates from recognizing the absolute responsibility inherent in our choices. Consider this: when confronting a moral quandary, the weight of selecting the correct course of action can be overpowering. This represents anguish in practice. Thirdly, abandonment. This alludes to the absence of external justification for our choices. There exists no higher power, no predetermined fate, no inherent moral code to dictate our actions. We are abandoned to our own resources, compelled to formulate our own values and make our own determinations. Fourthly, despair. This encompasses the realization that we lack control over the actions of others or the external world. Our dominion extends solely to our own choices. This can be disheartening, yet it also liberates us from the burden of attempting to govern the ungovernable. Fifthly, authenticity. This constitutes the objective of existentialist living, to conduct our lives in alignment with our personal values and convictions rather than conforming to societal expectations or external pressures. Authenticity mandates self-awareness, integrity, and a readiness to embrace the disquiet inherent in freedom. Can we honestly proclaim that we are living authentically? A grasp of these central concepts furnishes a sturdy bedrock for grappling with Sartre's philosophical ideas and maneuvering the trials. Existentialism presents a pathway to navigate the inherent anxiety arising from limitless choices, guiding individuals toward a life imbued with significance and purpose. Implementing Sartre's existential philosophy necessitates deliberate and sustained effort. Imagine a career crossroads, pursuing a financially rewarding yet unfulfilling position versus a vocation driven by genuine passion, albeit with less monetary compensation. An existential lens encourages a deep examination of personal values. What holds paramount importance, financial stability or profound personal satisfaction? Overcoming societal expectations presents a significant challenge. Family, friends, and media platforms often promote specific career paths or life choices. Counteracting these influences requires consistent self-reflection. Regularly pose the question, does this decision align with my core values, or am I seeking external validation? The fear of failure constitutes another obstacle. Existentialism advocates embracing failure as a valuable learning experience. Mistakes provide opportunities to identify strengths and refine values. Instead of avoiding risks, reframe them as experiments in self-discovery. Consider the potential consequences and the lessons they offer. A practical approach involves developing a personal code of ethics. This entails identifying core values and outlining specific behaviors that exemplify them. For example, if honesty is a central value, the ethics code might mandate truthfulness even when challenging and abstaining from gossip or spreading false information. Authenticity represents a continuous journey, not a fixed destination. Instances of deviating from values or making regrettable choices are inevitable. The crucial element lies in learning from these experiences and striving for a more authentic and meaningful existence. Consciously applying these principles transforms the anxiety of freedom into a source of empowerment. Beyond establishing a personal ethics code, advanced existential living entails embracing radical responsibility. This acknowledges that even seemingly minor choices can have significant ramifications. Consider a journalist who prioritizes sensationalism over factual accuracy to increase readership. While this decision might yield short-term benefits, it can contribute to the dissemination of misinformation and undermine public trust in media. Furthermore, advanced strategies encompass engaging in continuous self-creation. Dr. Emmy van Derzen, in her work on existential psychotherapy, stresses that authenticity is an evolving process of self-discovery and self-creation, not a static state. This necessitates ongoing self-reflection, a willingness to question beliefs, and a commitment to aligning actions with values, even when difficult. It involves embracing the discomfort of constant self-examination. Ultimately, mastering existentialist freedom requires accepting the inherent absurdity and meaninglessness of life. However, rather than succumbing to nihilism, individuals can discover freedom and purpose in establishing personal values and living authentically. This demands courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace the uncertainty of existence. This perspective facilitates a transition from merely making choices to actively shaping one's existence. The power of existentialist thinking extends beyond individual well-being, impacting society significantly. Research in positive psychology indicates that individuals living in accordance with their values report greater happiness, life satisfaction, and resilience. These findings suggest that embracing Sartre's call for authenticity can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Moreover, studies on ethical decision-making reveal that individuals aware of their biases and actively reflecting on their choices are more likely to make ethical choices. This reinforces the existentialist emphasis on personal responsibility and conscious decision-making. The notion of Sartre's curse can be a powerful tool for cultivating self-awareness and a sense of responsibility. By grasping its essence, we can become more attuned to the choices we make and the wide-ranging consequences they can unleash. Imagine a graph depicting a clear relationship between living in accordance with one's core principles and an enhanced sense of well-being. Consider organizations that place profits above all else, including ethical considerations. The Volkswagen emissions scandal serves as a stark reminder of the catastrophic outcomes that can arise from prioritizing short-term financial gain over a commitment to environmental responsibility and maintaining public trust. This well-known case underscores the importance of ensuring our actions align with our deeply held values, even when doing so presents challenges or goes against popular opinion. Existentialist tenets are becoming increasingly vital in the realm of leadership. A study published in the Journal of Leadership Studies revealed that leaders who champion authenticity and encourage those they lead to embrace ownership of their decisions are far more likely to cultivate innovation and foster a positive, supportive work environment. A comprehension of Sartre's philosophy can empower individuals to evolve into more effective and morally sound leaders. The capability to skillfully navigate the inherent anxieties that accompany freedom is not merely a personal asset, it is an indispensable skill for flourishing in an increasingly intricate and interconnected world. It equips us to construct more meaningful lives and contribute to a more ethical and sustainable society. Perhaps you find yourself questioning whether Sartre's existentialism leans too heavily toward pessimism, leaving us to wonder whether it condemns us to a life perpetually plagued by anxiety and uncertainty. The answer unequivocally is no. While Sartre acknowledges the inherent difficulties that arise from the freedom we possess, he simultaneously provides a pathway toward empowerment and the discovery of profound meaning. The crucial element lies in adjusting our perspective. Envision a before and after image contrasting a figure burdened by existential weight with one radiating empowerment and purpose. Reframe the concept of Sartre's curse not as a foreboding sentence, but rather as an invitation to seize control of our lives, to define our own values, and to craft a meaningful existence in a world devoid of inherent meaning. As Irvin Yalom, a distinguished existential psychiatrist, aptly observes, we must each forge our own meaning in life. This is not a burden to be borne, it is an invaluable opportunity to be embraced. You may still harbor doubts regarding your capacity to make sound decisions. Recognize that the pursuit of perfection is not the objective. Instead, embrace the inherent messiness of life, glean wisdom from your errors, and recalibrate your course as you progress. Bear in mind that even seemingly insignificant choices can yield profound consequences. Consider the research indicating that individuals who dedicate time to reflecting on their values and objectives report elevated levels of overall well-being. Approximately 60% of individuals who engaged in daily reflection through journaling reported experiencing an enhanced quality of life. The anxiety stemming from freedom may perpetually accompany us, but we can cultivate the ability to manage it effectively, harnessing it as a catalyst for personal growth and self-discovery. By embracing our inherent responsibility and actively creating our own meaning, we can transmute Sartre's curse into a source of empowerment and authentic living. We have delved into the depths of Sartre's existentialism, examining the paradoxical nature of freedom and the anxiety it engenders. The core message is that while we are condemned to be free, this very freedom constitutes our greatest strength. It empowers us to define our identities, generate purpose, and live authentically, thereby shaping a life of profound meaning. Now, it's time to translate theory into action. Begin by pinpointing your core values, identifying the principles that hold the utmost significance for you. These values will serve as your compass, guiding your decisions and providing you with a sense of direction. Next, make a daily commitment to a small choice that aligns with your values, whether it involves extending kindness to a stranger or reducing your environmental footprint. Acknowledge and accept the discomfort that accompanies uncertainty. Remember, there's no inherently right choice, only choices that reflect your values and your current understanding of yourself. Embrace experimentation, learn from inevitable failures, and utilize each experience as a stepping stone toward profound self-discovery. Consider a split-screen visualization contrasting choices in theory with choices in action, further emphasizing the practical application of these concepts. Embracing Sartre's concept of freedom signifies a lifelong dedication to self-reflection and the continuous creation of oneself. It's not a singular event, but rather a continuous process. Initiate this process by sincerely posing the question, what will be my subsequent choice, and dedicate yourself to deliberate action. As you immerse yourself in existential thought, share your inquiries, significant insights, and personal values with our group. As your involvement deepens, extend your support by aiding and encouraging others navigating their own journeys. Through this, we genuinely uncover a life of authenticity and meaning. Allow us to further enhance your philosophical exploration and self-discovery. So, where does this in-depth examination lead us? To a resolute understanding that Sartre's burden isn't a sentence, but a compelling summons to a grand quest. It serves as a powerful encouragement to confidently step into existence, accept the inherent unease of freedom, and actively craft a life that genuinely mirrors your innermost self. This isn't about idly searching for simple solutions or trying to evade the intrinsic apprehension of decision-making, but instead, learning to traverse this intricate landscape with steadfast courage, deep self-understanding, and an unwavering dedication to your core principles. Always bear in mind that the choices you consciously make today carefully mold the person you'll become in the future. You possess the writing instrument as the narrator of your developing story, skillfully using the shaping tool as the artist meticulously sculpts their individual essence. Embrace the vast, empty canvas of existence and purposely start creating a striking masterpiece that vibrantly portrays your unique and evolving view of the world. What one significant, purposeful action can you consciously undertake today to welcome a more authentically lived existence? Pursue this enriching investigation. Fully engage with Sartre's pivotal Existentialism is a humanism, thoughtfully explore the insightful works of other prominent existential philosophers, and, most importantly, consistently participate in significant discussions with fellow seekers, jointly examining both the daunting hurdles and exciting prospects inherent in embracing genuine freedom. Subscribe to this platform for even more stimulating philosophical inquiries, and let's wholeheartedly carry on this life-altering journey together. The winding course to genuine living is a lifelong endeavor, but with each aware and intended choice we make, we draw closer to completely becoming the uniquely remarkable individual we were always meant to be. The vibrant future of philosophical thought now firmly rests in your capable hands. What transformative realities will you boldly opt to manifest, and what substantial effects will you purposefully project outward into the world?
Subscribe to never miss the next chapters of this quiet revolution. Leave your disagree or agree in the comments. Debate is the soul of thought. Share this video with someone who dares to question the obvious.